Hey all, can you confirm that you are able to hear me and can see my laptop screen? Yes, thank you very much. So, hi, this is Hari. I'm the Power BI trainer, right? From the Hack as a hands-on coaching. And today we are going to see what are the topic that we are covering. Like we have mentioned, like Power BI and PostgreSQL, right? And the certification we are going to cover is Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst, PL300, right? So we would be seeing what we are going to cover as a part of our course, right? And at the same time, and after course completion, what are the things that we are going to target, whether it's a certification or whether it is applying for the jobs and all those things, right? Now, majorly in our, yeah, in our course, we are going to cover data warehousing, PostgreSQL, and Power BI. Like these are the three topics that we are going to cover. Now, when it comes to the data warehousing and PostgreSQL, those are going to be like a minor subjects, right? If you see in the universities or if you are joining any graduation course, right, we would be having major and minor subjects, correct? So these minor subjects are really going to help you to like access a foundational things for those major subjects, right? Now here our main target is that we need to complete Power BI data analyst course, right? Completing the certifications and crack a job on that one, right? At the same time, for this one, definitely this data warehousing and PostgreSQL are going to help, like they are foundational things, and how they are going to help, I'm going to show you in the next slide, right? If you see here, data to insights journey, right? And in this particular picture, we can see there is lot of data is being generated in our current world, right? If you take any organization, whether it's a smaller one, bigger one, right? We would be having one technology device, either it's a billing device, right? Or in the payment counters, we can see billing device. When you are ordering, you would be having a app that orders the items, right? Which is online. And if there is any manufacturing company, right? All the manufacturing machineries, everything, right? Those are run by the automation, and continuously there are sensors are there, some kind of devices are there which is going to capture how they are working, right? So which means billions, I would say trillions of bytes of data is being captured on daily basis across the group and across the industries, right? Now these things are being captured in different forms. It can be in the files, right? Excel files also, okay? Still, Excel files, Microsoft Excel files acts as a database also in many organizations, some small and medium. Along with we have a databases, traditional databases like Teradata, Oracle, right? Microsoft SQL Server, right? Along with the cloud services like AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, lot of things are there. Now, a lot of things are being captured in the data factory, right? Now, Power BI is going to help that visualize, right? To help them to visualize in a nice way so that we can quickly understand how our business is running. Okay. Now, one simple example is like, if you know that we have that one picture says 1,000 words, right? So whatever the data that is lying in the form of tables, files, or in the cloud, like it can be structured, unstructured, right? And just to take a notepad, let me take a notepad. We are having different forms of data also, like structured, unstructured, and in between we have semi-structured. right? Now, when it comes to the structured, right, a data that is stored in an Excel sheet, right, after doing due diligence, right, making sure a clean data is loaded, right, or data that is present in the databases, right, that is well defined and created, right, that is structured data. Similarly, we have semi-structured data like images, files, right, a set of files sitting in a particular folder, all those things. And when it comes to the unstructured, like our social media data, right, where someone put a question and on top of it, many people would be responding randomly, right? Like these many kinds of data is there. Now, our Power BI has a capability to get read all this one and put a nice visualizations. It can be a bar chart, line chart, tree maps, right? Or card visuals. We are going to see all those things, right? Now, in this particular journey, data to insight, there are different stages are there, right? So if you see this particular diagram, right? In the data insights, we have the operational data, right? The one just now we discussed where billions of data is being collected through different forms, right? If you go to the bank and if you are putting an application for the new account, right? The person would be manually entering all our details by collecting it, right? That is a earlier trend. Now what happening is we have some kind of systems where it scans our ID or our suppose in India, if we have a other card, we'll scan it and all the details would be captured. So, like the technology has evolved. So, all those operational data would be captured with the help of databases, Cosmos DB, data rivers, all those things, right? And we are going to use Azure Data Factory. So, since it's a Microsoft thing, just we have kept it Azure Data Factory. We have Google also providing and some other Teradata, SQL, everyone is providing their own things, right? Data injection or ETL. ETL means extract, transformation, load, and analytical data storage and processing, right? There are different technologies are there that converts our operational data into analytical data. Now, what is the purpose of converting this operational data into analytical data storage that we would be learning as a part of data warehousing concepts? And this data warehousing concept is the age-old one, like in 1980s, 86 or 90s, it has proposed, but still it is intact. A person who want to be a expert in data related fields, definitely he need to have a basic understanding about the data warehousing, right? It just led about what is the tool you are using. Suppose if you're drawing a picture, right? Whether which kind of brush you want to use, that may changes that to give you perfection. But the concept is not going to change. Same thing. Like if you see, we can have different data explorer, data warehouse, Azure data lake, right? And finally comes data modeling and visualization. Now, who are the market leaders in the data modeling and visualizations, right? Microsoft Power BI and Tableau. Okay, these are the two market leaders currently, and there are some other smaller players are there, but for sure these are the two market players, and we are going to target with Microsoft Power BI. And honestly saying, both are having their own advantages and disadvantages. When it comes to the Microsoft Power BI, being it's a Microsoft tool, right? The user interface, right, or the way we working, it's very close to that how we work with Microsoft Office applications, right? So many people has a doubt, I mean, if I want to start Microsoft Power BI, do I need to have a anything prerequisites to be covered? Means not hard and fast rule, but having an exposure to Microsoft Office tools like MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel is good enough. Okay, and database that we are going to cover as a part of our course, right? Just to give you a view of the Microsoft Power BI, right? If you see here, this is the Microsoft Power BI tool, right? And if you see on the top, we are going to have different tabs where similar kind of features are grouped. See, right? And you would be having the visualizations on the right side. And the tables, all the tables that we imported into our Power BI, we can see here, right? And if I just give a comparatively, just to make sure how easy to start with the Power BI is, let me open Microsoft Excel. So if you just do a comparatively with Microsoft Excel, right? See, we have the home, insert, draw, page layout, formulas, right? These are all the things, and the common things would be grouped, and whichever the thing that we work for quickly, they would be sitting at the home page. Same thing here in the Microsoft Power BI, like getting the data from different systems. And the good thing with Microsoft Power BI is, I mean, almost all the systems that stores data are be connected, whether it can be files. I mean, I can confidently say 90% of the technologies in the market are covered with the Power BI. That means Power BI has the capability to connect with those systems where data is lying and pull it into the Power BI, whether it's a files, databases, right? You can name any one of the databases. I can search and show you that one. Okay. If there is a particular database or technology is not there, then would be having a specially designed connectors that can be used. Microsoft Fabric, Power Platforms, Azure, all these things, right? So what we are going to learn as a part of our course is connecting to the different source systems, getting data into our Power BI and visualizing it in a way that business needs, right? And helps to business to take informed decisions, right? Now, our focus, as I told you, right, it's a Power BI. Now, if you see in this journey, there are a lot of technologies are there. Now, if you ask me, hey Harry, do I need to learn all these things? My honest answer is we don't need to learn in depth, but we should having a basic high level understanding. Okay. What is data warehousing? What is database? Because if you say that, hey, I'm working on a Power BI, right? Definitely that we should be 99% we should be working getting a data from database, right? If you are already having an exposure to database, well and good. But my understanding is since we are touch basing or whoever the students coming, that they are completely new. That is the reason we are covering PostgreSQL and the data warehouses. Okay. So I would like to know from you that is it clear what is we are trying? Our main goal is to learn Power BI, get certified into the Power BI, right? And crack into job. At the same time, we should be having a knowledge on the data warehousing and one of the databases. Now, here in this case, the reason for me taking PostgreSQL is because anyway, we are learning Microsoft Office Power BI, right? Microsoft Power BI. So I thought of taking Postgres, which is a open source, right? When you say open source, right? Uh, it's a free version. I mean, complete package is free. We don't need to pay anything that we can use full features. But as a part of our course, just we will go with the fundamentals to the mid level. Okay. And this, if you see here, data to insight journey, we have different workloads or different personas, data engineers, data factory, data science, right? See, in the market, there are N number of technologies are there, and lot of buzz is there with this terminology: data scientist, database, data warehouse, right? And we are specifically targeting Power BI, right? Along with the Power BI, we are touch basing database and data warehouse. Okay. And data engineers would can be an upstream for us, right? When you are doing your job, and data sciences can be a downstream to us. Okay. Any questions till now? So these are all the topics that we are going to cover. I'm going to share you this webinar presentation link, right? Like if you see what are the topics we are going to cover in the data warehousing, right? Like interaction, curve, Kimball, what is Snowflake, normalization and denormalization. This is very, very important thing. Okay. These are like a universal topics. What I would say is this normalization, Snowflake schema, star schema. These are like universal things. Whether we are handling with Power BI, Tableau, any kind of other reporting tools, they are going to be, I mean, we should be having a in-depth understanding about it, right? Like in PostgreSQL, what we are going to learn, like table creation, right? Table modifications and inserting and updating the data, deleting, right? And also we would be learning more SQL queries like select, filtering, sorting, right? And join, that is one of the important thing, followed by data types. And when it comes to the Power BI, right? Data wise, like Power Query, connecting to data, pulling the data and just cleaning up the data, and data modeling, measuring and filtering the context. And we are going to learn about calculates, which is called DAX, data analysis expressions. That is what we are going to learn. Visualizations, right? How we are going to present all these things, and publishing the things, right? Suppose once we created a report, how we are going to publish it, right? And at the same time, how we are making sure the right level of access is provided within the team or outside the team and within the organization, all those things. And how we are going to refresh our report, what is the frequency of all those things. Now, at the same time, we are also going to learn about the AI visuals, also artificial intelligence visuals, right? So many people has a question like, okay, are we covering the AI thing in it, right? Or is AI going to take our jobs? Okay. So one thing is, yes, we are going to cover the AI visuals that are provided by the Microsoft Power BI, right? In depthly. At the same time, AI is going to help to do our job faster. Okay. So it's as simple as it is. If you know the AI, then it is going to take us to the next level, make our things faster. Okay. If you see, there is a written summary is there. So this summary is created by the smart narrative. Add an auto-generated written summary for your data to this report. Earlier, I used to create, we used to create all these visuals. And again, from these visuals, I use it to start summarizing the data. Say that, okay, my sales are nearing to the target. Sorry, right? And we are going to write, okay, 43.81 million sales have happened. So we are nearing to the target, or a kind of thing. A particular Lucius team is in the top. Now this A summary is going to write to me. Now, if I show you this one, see, this report is in the draft mode, so don't worry about these lines, right? But if I show the same thing in the Power BI services also, let me get the same in the Power BI services. chocolate tray. If you see here, it is writing the summary. Earlier, when the A features are not there, we use it to create these line charts and these area charts. And based on this trend, right, we use it to write up, right, creating, okay, my sales are increasing and I have a peak in the month of August 2023, right? So this kind of write up, we use it to write manually by understanding these visualizations, right? But when you see the same thing in the data, suppose I will show you the data, underlying data for this one. Suppose if you see this is the sales table, which is having some 5,000 records, right? But by seeing this particular table, it's hard for us to predict what has happened. Now, when we presented this in a form of line chart, see, and this is giving me the summarization. Total sales trend down resulted in 9.49 decrease between January to December. So January to December. From January 21 to December, if you see the sales is trending down, that is it is highlighted. Total sales started trending downward on January 29, falling by 6.52% in 2 months. Right? So when you compared with January 21, within 2 months, 6.2% has happened. Total sales dropped during its steepest decline. So in the January to March, it has a steepest decline. So further, right? Now, if I apply some filters here, say I want to see the things only for Australia. Now, if you see here, it is rewriting, right? And how this summarization happened with the AI tools. And we are going to see this particular AI tool like smart narrative decomposition key influencers, right? And Q&A, right? Normally, whenever we want to create a particular visualization, right? What we do is we will open a new page, right? And we will drag a visualization here and we will add some data elements. Say, I'm just taking the sales for a quicker one. Total sales on y-axis, right? And the geography, right? A simple thing, right? This is the way which earlier we used it to work. At the same time, Q&A helps us to do the same. If I write here, total chocolate sales by location, geography. See, Canada, UK, New Zealand. Okay. So by just typing in the natural language, it's simply giving, and I can simply convert this one, turn these QA results into standard visuals. So these are all kind of things we are going to learn in our Power BI, right? So our main focus is to get subject matter expert in the Power BI technically, right? And understand more about business, how the business things works on it. Okay. And what are the topics that we are going to cover in our course, right? Any questions or queries with respect to our course content and how it works? Just be so that we can next go with our certification and what are the opportunities available. You can post it in the chat channel, okay? If you have any questions or queries. Anyone? Okay. If you don't have any questions, can you make sure that you are filling the, just a reminder to fill the student information form. Okay. Okay. Now let us come to the certification part. Now, as a part of Power BI, right? We are going to cover, I can see a message. Who is it? Please post the course content on the chart. Yeah, I'm going to send over the mail because it's a presentation now. So David, can you just fill the Google form that I posted? I'm going to send you over the mail with all the details. Is it fine, David? Because it's a power presentation, I don't think in this chart I can post it the time file. Welcome. Thank you, David. Yeah. Now the next thing is certification. Okay. Now certification is very important, right? So this tells us, okay, this person is certified, uh, that, and he's, when we say that we are certified as a Power BI, that means whoever recruiters are going through our resume, that they will have a confident, yes, this person has good understanding about the Power BI, right? Yeah, Guru Prasad, you can post your query in the chat channel. Yes, Guru, can you post your question in the chat? Okay. Now another question is like all our classes are recorded, right? And they are uploaded in the YouTube. So all the registered student will have the access to YouTube link. Okay. So that means it's very easy for you to, after the class also, that you can quickly go through the recordings, right? Revise the recordings and practice whatever the exercise that I'm giving in the class, right? And come up back with the next day. Okay. So, Guru, advanced Excel is not really needed. Okay. But having an understanding on Excel more will helps you to make Power BI more easy. But there is no need like Excel VB things, Excel, those things are not required. If you know how to create a formula in the Excel, right? Or creating some basic visuals, that is good enough. Is that answers your question, Guru? Okay. Yeah, right. Now coming to the certification, if you see this, the level of this certification is intermediate, right? Not a foundational, because we want to make sure, right? We are trying to job oriented, right? This course is mainly for the job oriented course. So which means the certification also should have at least a, I mean, we should have a certification at least intermediate level. Okay. I'm a non-technical guy and working as a project manager. Heard about Postgres and data warehouse as a part of the course. Really pursue it. Yes, Abhiram. Yes, we can go it because data warehousing, it's a concept, as I told you, right? I mean, it tells how the things are organized. First point. Second point is Postgres, we are touching at the basics, okay? And also, Abhiram, I mean, if you are having any kind of gap in the learning, you can also join the subsequent batches to do a refresh. Okay, guys, another important thing is students who are registered, right? I mean, due to whatever the reason, suppose if you miss the classes or if you feel that you should have a refresh of the course again, definitely you can join the subsequent batch also without any additional cost. Okay, and the thing is that whatever we are covering, yes, the course, especially this is structured for the beginners. Is it answers your question, Abhirav? Okay. Okay. Let us come to the certification quickly, right? So this is Power BI data analyst, right? And this certification need to be renewed every 12 months, but the renewal is free of cost. Okay, only for the certification we need to pay $160. Okay, and it's a separate thing. You don't need to pay at this point of time. Okay, our course is $300, right? And once we are nearing to the end of the course, right, when you are ready, then we can help you to register for this certification, right? And this renewal is free of cost. Okay, so if you see here, you are eligible to renew your certification, valid your skills, and the for free. So the renewal of this certification is free. The reason why they kept is 12 months is just to make sure, yes, the person who holds this certificate, yes, they are thoroughly what we say screened again, and they are having knowledge on the Power BI. Okay, so this happens across the things in the certifications that they will keep some expiry date like 1 year, 3 years, and only thing is we need to renew it. And here the good thing is it's a free of cost only. Okay, and the good thing with Power BI is that, right, all these topics, right, we are going to cover as a part of our 15 days course, right? Further, we have the practice assessments. Okay, we can take many number of times this practice assessment, right? Now, when we are scoring continuously above 80%, that means yes, we are good to take the exam. Okay, so we have a separate team that will be helping you if you required any other assistance, and I will be there to guide you in terms of all these certifications and all those things. Okay, it just I need is your time and dedication. That's it, right? So the course is like 100 minutes, right? Sorry, my bad. That time window is 100 minutes. Okay, and we are going to have around 60 questions. Suppose if you see here, so when you are ready, we can schedule it, and you can see in your local currency. Suppose if it is a UK 106 pounds. Okay, just select your country so that you can see what is the cost of it, right? Now, if I show you a practice assessment, see, we would be having 50 questions. You have designed a star schema to simplify your data. You need to understand the relationship between the tables in the star schema. What is the relation from fact to dimension? So it would be many to one. I'm just giving. Oh, I think it won't go back. Normally, I prefer to check the answers. Okay, it is very important. Your organization has Power BI model with multiple tables, including a sales table with transactional data and a product table with product details. You need to aggregate sales data by product category. So add a calculated column in the sales table for the category column. Create many to one relation from the sales. Ideally, it should be there. Define a many to many. This is wrong. Many to many relation won't work. Use auto detection feature to create this also works. Create one to many relation. I think first thing should be create a many to one check answer. See. So whenever you are practicing this exam, that we should be trying check answer. So that and we can read what is it. It provides a description about the right answer, and if you select a wrong answer, it also clearly provides why it is wrong answer. Okay, a good level of information is there, materials are there supporting us for the certifications, right? Now coming to the openings, Power BI jobs for entry level. I normally go with the LinkedIn. How come today LinkedIn page is not showing? Yeah. Just I'm taking for a US thing. Okay. Not like that. But Any other questions by the time page opens? So, Abhiram, is your things clarified? Why it is asking this many type of questions? Thank you. Uh, what happened? Yeah. Did I selected any wrong? Okay, let me do a fresh search. I think no. Power BI jobs in US. There are numerous Power BI opportunities available across USA with roles ranging from business intelligence developer and architecture. See, currently there are over 9,000 Power BI jobs listed in Indeed covering and job responsibles, developing and optimizing Power BI reports and dashboards, collaborating with stakeholders to gather the requirements, supporting data migration, right? You can search Power BI listing on various platforms. So you can see across the US at this point of time, we are having 9,000 jobs that too listed in Indeed. And sure, we would be having other portals and everything. Oh, yeah, yeah, all those things. Earlier, LinkedIn used to be open very quickly, but now, yeah, right, I got it. I think I have opened a wrong link. See, and this is for India. I think it's based on the location we got it. See? Proven experience in Power BI development, optimization, and admin setup. Strong Power MQuery and DAX. We are going to touch base all these topics, performance and everything, right? And basic salary $60 per hour. Similarly, if I go with data reporting analyst, $50 to $60 per hour, remote location, right? Data communication ability. So jobs wise, we are having a good opportunity. See, data modeling, data warehousing, and ETL skills. So these are the things we are touching as a part of our data warehousing and just about the PostgreSQL. Experience in creating and managing dashboards, strong analytical skills, proficient in Power BI or similar tools, and excellent written and verbal communication skills. So these are going to cover written and verbal communication skills, ability to work independently, right? So there are good number of openings are there. It's just about we are upskilling to the required level. Okay. Power BI developer Peter Gary. So openings wise, yes, there are good number of openings are there. Yes, Sweta, Power BI would be helping you because in this majority things go with the drag and drop. Okay, so like if you see like Python, C, we are not going to write like that. We would be having drag and drop, At the same time, we would be writing a small lines of code, but that is written by the Power BI. Okay. So suppose if I show you one simple thing, let me show you. Okay. Like in Excel, if you remember, we do the formulas, right? Now, if you see here, there is a calculators is there, right? Here we are going to write a very simple formula. Okay. A small formulas we are going to write, and these formulas are also like Excel only. Okay. And normally we say M query, that M query is written by the Power BI for us. Suppose transform data, right? So if I take this particular table, see all these steps are done by just drag and drop or using these options. Okay. And underline background code is written by Power BI only. So these are all the lines of code. Uh, I mean, I'm going to show you during the class, right? This is written by Power BI. We just do drag and drop. That's it. Okay. Any other questions in terms of openings? We should have coding knowledge. So Guru, not exactly, we don't need to have any coding language. Okay. Like in Excel, how we read the formulas and everything, that knowledge is required. And also understanding what Power BI has written. Okay, the just now I have shown you, right? So if I right click advanced editor, this is written by Power BI based on the activities that we did, like drag and drop, all the basic thing through the mouse. We just need to have an understanding about these things, and I can also help you how easily you can understand these things. Okay. And we are not going to write any extensive lines of coding as a part of Power BI. So my honest thing is that Power BI can act like a launch pad. We can easily learn. Only thing I need from a student is a consistent learning. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, normally weekdays I would be busy. On weekend I would be covering all the exercises provided by my trainer Hari. Okay, that thought process really don't work. I'm just telling you honestly. Okay, so let me pause here for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Hey all, just to give a at a high level, right? So we are starting our course from 28th today. I mean it's in India it is 29, but it's US it is 28th. Okay, 14th November, and we would be having 15 days class. Okay, daily 1 hour, and Monday to Friday. And for American people, it's 9 p.m. and 8 p.m. based on your local CST or EST zone. For Europe, Germany, it is around early morning, 2 to 3. And for Asia, it is like Sydney, America, it is 12 p.m. and India, it is 6:30 a.m. Tuesday to Saturday. Okay. So this is the course, and the course fees is 300 US dollars or 250 pounds. All those things comes, right? I'm going to share all these details over the mail. What I just need is just update your student information form, right? Over the in the form, in the link that I provided. Okay. Or else you can directly ping me on WhatsApp that I provided. Okay. My number is 7020225542. Right. Now, as we discussed in our webinar, right? So we are going to cover three major things, right? What are the three major things? Uh, Data warehousing, Postgres, and Power BI, right? So first 4 classes, we would be covering data warehousing and Postgres SQL, right? Rest of the 10 classes, we are going to have Power BI, right? 4 classes means it's the 5 classes, just we are rearranging. But in case of we are not able to cover, definitely we will extend our classes couple of more days. Okay, don't worry about that one. But we would be going in slow and steady phase. Okay, yeah, I'm just sharing it again. Sorry, right? Now, this is the core structure, right? So the first week we are going to cover data warehousing and about the Postgres SQL. Now, our main intention with the Postgres SQL is understanding about the database and moreover understanding about the SQL structured query language. Okay. And from second week, we are going to focus on the Power BI itself. Okay. A detailed schedule plan is there in terms of timing, and I'm going to send you over the Gmail. So kindly request you to fill your details. Okay. Now coming to the data warehousing concept, what it mean by. So many of you had heard about the word warehouse, right? What comes in your mind when you heard about warehouse?
Storage.
Okay. What else? Maybe you can post it in the chat channel, guys. I would be muting all of you just to avoid the background noise. Storage, right? So if it is storage, then I can tell it as a storage also, right? Why to mention as a warehouse? I can term it as a data storage also, right? Data storage. But we are terming it as data warehouse. Right? Can anyone just help me to understand? I mean, just I want to know your thoughts. What comes in your mind when you heard about the word warehouse? So I want to make sure our classes would be more interactive. So please request you to just post your thoughts in the chat channel. Okay, large amount, storing data with safe and secure, makes sense. Okay, what else? Okay, databases. Okay, so can store large projects, makes sense, right? All of you are absolutely correct in one or other way. And now, when it comes to the warehouse, is a place where we store our either raw material or finished goods to get the maximum profits, right? So if I have a manufacturing plant or something, right, it produces the goods, but at the same time, I won't be able to market it as and when it is produced, right? And sometimes the raw material cost would be very less, right? So that I can purchase it and store it, right? So it's all about profit, right? How we can maximize the profits or the operational stability, right? Sometimes if we feel that the supplier from where we are getting raw material, right? If they have some natural calamities, anything, that our production lines would be disturbed, right? Now, how can we make sure that that not happen? Maybe we can keep some buffer amount. So these kind of things happens in the warehouse. I mean, the purpose of warehouse. Similarly, data warehouse is a concept, right? That is introduced by Rolf Kimball and Inmon, right? Now, the reason for the purpose of introducing the data warehouse is to make sure the operational systems are not impacted with the analysis part. Okay. Now, what it mean by? Let me get a nice diagram. Okay. I'm just getting one diagram. And guys, this concept is very important, right? You should be very crystal clear on this concept. Insert shapes, icons, pictures, online pictures. So this is one simple and classic image I use, okay, which is pretty clear one and concept, right? Now, if you see on the left side, right? Yes, which is mentioned as operational systems. Now, when we say operational systems, right? When we go to the store, right, there is a point of sale machine is there. So whatever we trying to purchase, we take all those items and we start billing it, right? So that systems are used for the billing purpose. Similarly, if you have an HR system, human resource system, right, those softwares manages all the employees attendance, right, how much time they came, all those things. Similarly, if you have a manufacturing thing, right, they are going to capture how much raw material is there, how much production lines are happened, all this kind of information would be stored, right? So whatever the systems, those are capturing our day-to-day activities, right? The real business things, either it's an activity or observations. All the things are stored in the databases, right? And we are calling it as online. Oh, what is that one? Transactional processing systems. Transactional processing systems. OLTP. Okay. So what is their job is to make sure all the day-to-day activities that are happening in the business are captured without any delay. Now, if a customer comes and asks tomorrow that, hey, I want to return this product, right? So they should be able to quickly give the input of that bill number and immediately get the response, right? So, which means these are designed in a way that they process small amount of data but with faster. Okay, please keep in mind the online transactional processing systems are designed in a way that they process less volumes, right? But they do very faster. If I go at the billing, right, they will ask, hey, can you provide your mobile number? Can you provide your customer ID? If I go to the bank, person will ask, hey, can you provide your account number or customer ID? When I give the customer ID, right, there would be millions of customers of data would be there. Within that, information related to my a single report should be pulled very faster in fraction of seconds. So online transactional systems, right? Now over a period of time, what happen is a huge amount of data is being stored, right? And that has become a kind of a expenses to the organization, right? They're getting lot of infrastructure to store this data. And at one point of time, it is decided, hey, why can't we use this huge amount of data to analyze the customer behavior, right? That is a thought process. Why can't we use this data that we are maintaining in our operational systems, right? To understand how the sales are happening, right? How the customers, which segment customers are more interested in what kind of products. So these kind of questions has came. Now what they thought is, now they started analyzing the data, all right? They started analyzing the data by running some aggregation queries, right? Or in a simple summarization queries. So when you say summarization queries, right? So they started running. Okay, sum up all the sales month wise, day wise, or year wise, like that. Now, what happen is to analyze the data, right? Just think of it. If you want to know what is the total expenses over a month that you incurred, right? Then you need to scan all the activities, all the records that you have done in that month, right? And then sum up it. Will you agree with me? Will you all agree with me? So when you want to do analysis, right, of your monthly sales, monthly expenditure, I think that would be the right word. Then first thing is you need to get all the your expenditure, right, all the activities that you have done, and then sum up it as that you will get a final value. So analytical process needs huge computing power, processing power, right? Now, initially when the analyst, data analyst, what you call, or whatever the like data analyst will say, when they're doing this analysis in the operational systems, right? So they got the performance issues. I mean, they started seeing performance issues for the operational processing, right? Because the systems are same, right? The capacity is not increased, but on the same thing, both operational things, transactional things, and the analytical things are happening. And this resulted in degraded performance. So then it is decided, okay, boss, let us don't touch our operational systems or the transactional systems, right? Once the business is ended, we are going to take a copy from the transactional systems, right? On what are the things those are changed. Say today, customer has come and purchased two items. That records would be pulled into the warehouse. Now, warehouse is again a databases only. Okay, they are not something a different things, but the way they are stored, we are calling them as a warehouse. Now, what we are keeping here, whatever the day-to-day transactions happen, a copy of it, raw data, right? And also what I'm doing is from this raw data, I'm doing summarization and keeping the summarized data. Say, what is my daily sales, right? A customer, a particular departments daily how much sales they have done, daily summarized data, monthly summarized data, like that we are keeping summarized data, and information related to what kind of data we are storing, that is called metadata. And this is very important in terms of regulatories, okay? Because in each and every country we have regulatories that has defined some policies, what kind of customer information you can store, how many days you can store that customer information. Now, how can we know that we are in line with those regulatories? By storing the information related to what kind of data we are storing. That is called metadata. Okay. Metadata means information about your data. Okay. Data tells what kind of behavior a customer is doing, and metadata tells what kind of information we are storing. Okay. So in this way, data engineers or ETL teams work on creating a warehouse. Okay. So if you see this particular diagram, here it is data injection to ETL, right? And further on top of this data warehouse, like a data marts are created. Now, when you say data mart is a subset of data warehouse. It is going to have the same features of data warehouse, but it deals with the individual department. Okay. And finally, the users would be coming, whether the data mining, reporting, analyst, right? And to be frank, we as a Power BI developers are sitting on the right side. And the advantage of our position is that we directly interacts with the business. We directly interacts with end users. So that means we acts as a bridge between the business and the technology. Is it clear? that we as a Power BI developer, that we are going to bridge the gap between the business users or business and the technology guys. And we are going to visualize the data so that business can take informed decisions, right? So now when it comes to whatever we learn, just it's very important that we have some theoretical part also, right? So let me get you that one. Gmail. So I'm going to share you the links also, whatever we are learning, right? So when it comes to the data warehouse, right? I have a link with the AWS one. So this is the best one. Now what it says. A data warehouse is a central repository of information that can be analyzed to make more informed decisions. Data flows into data warehousing from transactional systems, relational databases, and other sources. Now, if you see this diagram, data into the data warehouse from the transactional systems and other sources, some kind of flat files and anything. Business analysts, data engineers, data scientists, and decision makers access the data through business intelligence tools. Here it is on the right side, right? So there are a lot of namings are there. We don't need to confuse. We would be focusing as a Power BI developer, right? Data and analysis have become indispensable to business to stay competitive, right? So whatever we discussed, right, at the theoretical part, I'm not going to read all this article, but I'm going to highlight some key things, right? And as a part of every class, right, along with the class recordings, I'm also going to provide you these knowledge sections and links. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to make sure the mails coming from me that you are keeping in a separate folder so that you can maintain that knowledge repository and open it and learn it and complete the activities that I'm going to provide to you. Okay. Does it make sense? Benefits of using data warehouse: informed decision making, consolidated data from many sources. See, that is what we are going to show. Consolidated data from many sources. Historical data analysis. So we are going to keep the raw data. So which means at one point of time, if you got a new requirement and if you want to do a historical analysis, then you can refer to this raw database within the data warehouse, right? Similarly, data quality, consistency, and accuracy. This is very, very important. Just think of it. The business is going to take decisions based on the reports we are creating, which means they should be reflecting the correct things, right? That means the data quality and consistency accurate. Separation of analytical processing from transactional databases, which improves performance of both the systems, right? So now a small introduction about warehouse, database, and lakes. I would request you to please go through this article, right? That will gives you a clear understanding. Okay. Now we have seen OLTP and OLAP, right? Just to write here, since this particular part is used for analytical purpose, we call it as online analytical processing systems, OLAP, right? I am very confident that even after 10 or 20 years, right, this is not going to, I mean, the concept is not going to change. The tools we are going may change, okay, accordingly we upgrade it, but the purpose of separating the data, creating one more copy of our transactional data to do analysis is going to be not changing. Even if you term it as a data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning also do the same thing. We have huge amount of operational data. We take a copy of it and machine learning runs its models on that data and gives the output. Generative AI, all these things. Okay. But we need to be very clear about this concept on the ground, right? Now, who has proposed these concepts? W.H. Inman and Ralph Kimball, right? I just compare these two names with Newton laws, right? In physics, right? Still, we all remember, right? Newton's first law, second law, third law. They are still intact, right? They are in 19th century, but whether it's a rockets, jets, whatever it may be, advanced space research, Newton's third law never changed. Equal and opposite reaction, right? Similarly, first and second law, same thing. Now, Inman and Kimball has proposed this data warehouse theory. Now, what they proposed, let me show you in a diagrammatic representation so that it would be easy for you to quickly understand the things. Okay. So, Wolf Kimball has proposed, right? Now, what Kimball has proposed is, he said that boss create the data marts. Now, what it mean by data marts? If you take an organization, right? In that organization, you would be having different departments and they are working on their own. Like if you take a finance department, right? Finance department would be tracking all the expenses, right? All the invoices and everything. And they would be having their own software, right? Similarly, if you take an hospital, right? In hospital, you would be having a billing department, right? Billing department would be having their own software. Similarly, if you have a radiology and different departments, they would be having their own softwares, right? Now, with the help of these softwares, they are going to capture the day-to-day activities, observations. Suppose if you have a ICU in hospital, right? It would be having different missions and everything. All those data would be captured for all the patients, right? Now, what Kimball has suggested, let us create a data mart. As I again reiterating, data mart is a kind of data warehouse only. Okay, that it would be getting a copy of operational data and it will summarize it, right? Summarize it and keep it here. Now, each data mart would be created for each and every department. Now, what Kimball said is go to the finance department, understand their department, create their data mart, right? Similarly, go to the HR department, get their data mart created. So what it says, like build each and every data mart for each and every department, like iterative, right? If you remember, whoever part of the Scrum Masters, if you're the Agile Scrum Masters, right? What it says, if you have a big organization, right? Or if you have a requirement, a business outcome, break into user stories, right? Or epics. I think I may correlating, but I understand it's like epic is at the top level, right? If you have a epic, under epic you can have multiple business outcomes and user stories like that. I have an organization which is creating data from different systems in different departments. Kimball suggested don't focus at the organization level. Pick one area, create their data mart, and integrate all of them into the bigger data mart, data warehouse. Yeah, epic features, then down to user stories. Thank you, unknown. Hey, maybe you can rename your name so that I can rightly pronounce you. Right? That's what Kimball proposed. So what is Kimball says that go with the iterative steps, okay, and build the data warehousing, right? On top of it, give this data warehouse to all your business intelligence users, data machine learning, data scientists, and everything. They can report the things, right? Whereas Inmon has proposed the vice versa. Now, what Inmon suggested is let us get all the data sources at one place. Don't deal individually. Don't give it individual departments. Ask all the departments, come together, tell them what are the systems they are having, right? And get all those data into the centrally, right? And create a enterprise data warehouse. Now, why it is saying enterprise data warehouse? Because we are building at the organizational level. Now, create a subset of data marts from each of it. Like give a copy to each and every department. Now they ask them to use. Okay. On individual data marts that their respective departments creates their own reporting users. Right. So initial cost is very huge for Inmon because we need to get all the departments SMEs into one table on one table and understand how they are interrelated between each of them and then build the data marts. Okay. So is it clear till now? What is the proposal? Look, ultimately we are going to get a copy of our operational data into data warehouse. Okay. The way the approach is different. Any questions or queries till now? Blessing, Chris, David, Dilla, Herbert, Marian, Sweta. Fine. So thank you. So what do you think? Which one is the best one? Thank you. So after this one, just want to know, I mean, I understand we are having very any basic understanding about Inmon and Kimball, right? But what you thought of it? Which one is good? What is your opinion? Which approach do you prefer while building a data warehouse? Is it a Inmon approach or Kimball approach? Okay. So my thought process is both are good. Okay. That is the reason we are using. Uh, and we will be seeing why. Let us see a comparative. Like introduced by Ralph Kimball and Bill Inmon, right? If you see the approach of Kimball is bottom up approach. Now, when you say bottom approach, right? If you see an organization, right? When you are working from the bottom, right? If you are first handling with each and every department that you are integrating at an enterprise level, then we call it as a bottom up approach. Okay. Inmons is a top down approach, right? That we are starting from the organization level and then we are drilling down to each and every department. Data integration happens individual business areas, right? If you see the diagram, each and every business line have their own data integration. Whereas for Inmon at the organization level, you are having data integration. Build time, it is efficient and take less time. Will you agree with me? Right? Because we are sitting with each and every department and we can easily get those persons and get the things done. It is complex and consumes a lot of time, right? This is self-explanatory, but I'm happy to further drill down this one, okay? Because when we say complex, right, we need to get all the systems together. That means we need to have bigger team, right? Bigger members who has a expertise, who understand how to integrate all those departments, right? Cost, it has the iterative steps and cost effective, right? Initially, I don't need to put huge amount of data, correct? Because I start with one department so that I can invest in this one. I can put my investment in building this one. Once it is successful, then I will go here. Whereas for Inmon, right, we need to put initial investment is high because we need to start working across all the systems. Initial cost is use and development cost is less, right? Because we don't have any iteratives. Once initially we finalize the scope, it is easy for us. Skills required, it does not need a such skill, but generic team will do the job, right? It needs specialized skills to make work because we need to know how the integration between the departments, how the data should be arranged, all those things. Maintenance, the maintenance is difficult. So I think for the Kimball, this is the pros, sorry, concern, right? Here the maintenance is difficult. The reason because is since we are creating different data marts for each and every systems, right? So at one point of time, there is a chance duplicates can happen. Say in HR department, we need to have an employee table, right? Similarly, in the production department also, we need to have an employees table, right? So in this way, there is a chances that we would be creating some duplicate tables within the organization, not within the department, but within the organization. So that is the reason the maintenance is difficult. Okay. Now here the maintenance is easy because all the systems are sitting at one place. So people or team who is managing it, that they have a control of how many systems they are having. Suppose if someone comes, say, hey, I want a specific employee table, then we can say, boss, this is the single universal table for employee. You can just connect with it. Okay. Now it prefers data to be denormalized model. Right? Now, I want your attention here. Denormalized model. Have you heard about this word? Normalized and denormalizing? Anyone? Okay. Now, to explain this one, let me get back to Excel sheet. Where is the Excel sheet? Yeah. Okay. Now, to give this explanation, I have created some data. Let me open that one. Okay. So now, if you see these particular tables, right? I have a sales table, right? Which is having information related to each and every sales. Say a laptop is purchased by Harish, and whenever you go to the store, right, they will ask, hey, can you provide your mobile number? Can you provide your address? And details about all those things. Correct? So now think of it, if Harish is goes visit this shop regularly, and every time he enters his the shop is collecting his address, right? So that means a detailed information about the products, about the customers, everything is captured for each and every line item. Now think of it, if you have a store within New York or New Jersey, right, where we would be having customers visiting repeatedly, right? Then we would be storing their information repeatedly, right? Like storing maximum information in a single table is called denormalized table. Denormalized. Now, what is the benefit of denormalize is, suppose if you want to get the information retrieved from the database, right? It is very faster. The reason because is all the information is sitting in a single table, right? But what is the problem is, since you are storing the same information repeatedly, that means your cost for storage increases. And is it going to really give a value? I don't think, because we are storing the redundant data. Okay. The benefit we are getting is, yes, we can retrieve the data faster, right? Now, when we are going with the same approach in the data warehousing where we store the historic data, right? In the data warehouse, we store lot of history data, correct? Now, when you are storing as it is, then definitely it is going to increase our cost on the IT exponentially, right? So that is the reason a concept of normalization is implemented. Now, what we say normalization is, suppose if you take a customer, Harish, right? What I'm going to store is I'm going to store customer details here, like his name, address, date of birth, and everything in a single record. Now I will going to give a unique number, right? It's like if a student joined in a college, right? What the first thing we do is we will give a roll number to him, correct? So down the line, his during his mark list or while any activities happened, we are going to use that roll number since it's a uniquely identifies that particular student. Correct? So every time we don't need to enter complete details of the student. Same thing applies here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a customer table that stores the customer information and we provide a unique reference number. And we are going to use that unique reference numbers. Similarly, I maintain an address table, right? I'm going to store the unique identifier of that particular address. Okay. So now what happening? Instead of storing 100 or 20 characters, I'm going to store a one or just a five characters, right? So in this way, the overall space utilization is exponentially reduced, right? And I will make sure a relation is created between these customer and sales table so that whenever I want customer detailed information, this sales table would be referring to the customer table. Okay. So this is called normalization, right? So in a simple layman language, right? Storing the data into multiple tables by creating a logical relation between them is called normalization. Okay. Is it clear? The benefits of this is that we were going to reduce the data redundancy, right? And maintaining the systems is also very easy in the data warehousing. Now that is what it tells. Where is this particular page? So it prefers data to be in the normalized model in the inmon method. So that is the reason inmon is also one of the advantageous one, right? Now, just a description about the thing and the way it looks, right? Is it clear till now? And the table that is going to store all the transactions or observations, right? We call it as a fact table. Right, one way. You are correct, admin. Like normalization improves the integrity of the data. Correct. That is one of the feature of normalization. Okay. Now the table, right, which is going to store the observations or activities or transactions, we call it as a fact table because it is storing the facts, right? What has happened? It's a fact, right? And the supporting table of this fact table, right, which stores the detailed information about that product or organization, we call it as a dimension, right? And if I show you this in a pictorial way, pictorial representation, let me show you that